In last episode, Brian Flakes began his journey attempting to be the first 400-pound quarterback in college football history, and after a season full of ups and downs, he officially was a two-star come signing day and had to settle as the third-string quarterback for Texas State as a freshman. Will Flakes gain enough trust to get reps before the end of the season, or will he simply redshirt his entire first collegiate year? Welcome in everybody to episode 2 of the journey of Brian Flakes, and we have so many skill points to use. That is what we're going to spend the first part of this episode doing. I think early on we really should be focusing on becoming a good pocket passer. I mean, elusiveness and quickness, we're still so far behind. They're also the most expensive. So I think the smart decision is just go all in on accuracy and power, just make ourselves a functional quarterback from the pocket. In Flakes' high school career, he did miss a ton of throws, so getting this up is definitely a huge point of emphasis for us. But 83 accuracy, 79 power, and 73 elusiveness, we should probably be the best quarterback on the roster now, at least on paper. And as we continue to do further upgrades, of course, we're going to get our abilities, which are going to be very important to really maximize how good we can be. But I still think we're a bit away from being able to get some of these. I'm not exactly sure the best drill that we should be doing here, but I'm just going to try and do this one, get completions, and just stack up some points. But this is technically the first look of Flakes in a Bobcats uniform and could be our last. I don't know how I feel if we're actually going to get reps this year on a really bad team. I mean, we are the highest overall, but still. I think we may have a chance if we stack some good practices like this one, because I can't imagine the two guys ahead of us have a lot more coach trust. And at the end of the day, as long as we can get more coach trust than those other quarterbacks, we're going to be on the field. Pretty easy drill here. We are going to get gold in our first ever team practice, so that's a really good start for us. And there could be a glitch. I don't know why it says we're still quarterback 3, because we're really closing in on quarterback 1 junior Caden Anderson. We might be like one practice away from them becoming the starting quarterback, which is kind of crazy. I don't really like this system. I don't like the whole energy thing where we have to study for exams in a video game, but it is what it is. We're going to spend a couple on the exam and then also on our leadership, and that's how we're going to spend our points in this first week. We did unlock a position battle already for the backup quarterback position, and so here we go. We got to win 2 out of these 3 games, and we have the option attack first. I'm honestly not great at running the option, but we're just going to try it here, and I think I didn't do that correctly. We're going to get no points. The triple option's kind of hard to run, man. Again, I don't know why I kept holding down, and I guess we're actually going to get a huge run here from our running back. It's actually going to help. But wow, I was not reading that out properly. We're going to hand it off to the running back again here. He's got a lot of green grass, and this is going to be pretty easy. A couple of more correct reads, and we should be on our way. Another handoff to our running back here. If he gets to the end zone, we could have it. We're very close. Basically, 1 away here. Off to the running back again. And he's got the edge, and that should just about wrap it up for us. That's huge. And now to wrap it up, we have pass skeleton. This was the first thing that we did. This is honestly probably the easiest drill you can do. Just get completions. It's easy to complete. And with a score of 4,000, as long as we don't have a drastic fail, again, going to be super easy. And after a few more passes, we've gotten it, and this is really just to pad the stats. And Brian Flakes, before even week 1 of the season, is already the backup quarterback. He's moving up fast. And it's official. Brian Flakes is the backup quarterback for the Texas State Bobcats. But our schedule this year starts off with a bang at number 2 Texas and Arch Manning. That is going to be one hell of a game for us. The rest of the schedule, obviously not too hard because of the conference that we are in the Sun Belt. But I hope at least by the mid-season point, we can hop in and actually get some reps in our freshman season. But down 41-0. Here is true freshman quarterback, 400-pound Brian Flakes, the heaviest quarterback to ever step foot in a college football game. His very first play is going to be a completion over the middle of the field. Just kidding. He's a little bit nervous in front of this SEC crowd, but how about we get our first completion on a little halfback screen here? And we do, but it's for negative yards. And just like that, it's 3rd and 14. Just can't turn it over. We have our tight end here, and he makes one great catch. Coach wouldn't let us go for it. Texas still went down the field and scored another touchdown, but we are back in here with a few more reps where we can help out our coach trust. Across the middle of the field here, how do you miss that throw? We poured so much resources into his accuracy, and Brian Flakes, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn right now. This is really bad. A little out here to our receiver. That's a good throw for 9 yards. But these little efficient completions is definitely going to help us with our coach trust and maybe get us on the field sooner. Another beautiful dime from Brian Flakes. That's a high-level throw. Right hash to left sideline. A beautiful play. Again, our tight end across the field, drop. If we could go down the field here and lead a touchdown drive, that would be huge for us, but a long way to go still. And because of our lack of coach trust, we only get 2 plays to pick from every time, so it really limits what we can do as well. But again, our fullback underneath holds on to it. Another first down. 2 of our 4 first downs this game has happened on this drive. I'm just saying. Our coach needs to pay attention to this because we're definitely the best quarterback on this roster as we almost get sacked. But on 2nd and 10, they're sagging off our receiver. Nice little hitch route here, and he's actually going to pick up 8. 3rd and 3 for the Bobcats. Do we take a shot here? I'm not going to do it. Middle of the field. It's another drop. We do get on the board and score our first point, so we didn't get shut out against Texas, and it's all because of us. Hopefully our coach takes some notice there. We're still quarterback too. We have more coach trust though than both of these guys, but again, we're still not going to be starting. But again, practice this week, we're just going to keep chugging along and building up that coach trust even more. And it's honestly crazy how much easier it is in practice. And now we have our first home game, and it's going to be rainy here, as Flakes again looks to get his first action at home. I feel like the chances of that happening is less because we're not playing Texas, so we're not going to be getting blown out theoretically. And unless an injury happens, I don't think we're going to see Flakes for the near future, but we do drop our first game at home this season, and we moved 0-2. And here we go. The 0-2 start was enough to challenge for the quarterback 1 position already. Same thing as last time, win 2 out of these 3 games and we become the quarterback 1 for the Bobcats. I don't even really know what I'm doing. Am I supposed to just run over here and then just find somebody? I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. And I sold the first 2 reps, so we might be cooked. It really wasn't hard. I thought I had to stay in that 3-second barrier, and then I was supposed to like take off, but no. And now we're gonna sail a throw. Brian Flakes may not be ready for prime time. This is pretty bad so far. We're gonna try escape again. He's got no movement. And now the read option game mode, we have to beat a score of 15,000. Which shouldn't be too hard. I will say I don't like the change that they made for this game. In College Football 25, they made it where if you hold down X, the quarterback keeps it. I don't like that. I like to hold it when I want to hand it off to the running back, but a good start for us here. And a couple of more really impressive runs, and we should be fine. Here goes Flakes again. We're going to pitch it here. Just don't fumble it. Now, all we need is 1 positive play here, and we've got 15,000. So we're going to read that linebacker again, and that should be good. What is our running back doing? He's making this a lot more harder than it has to be. So again, 1 more try here. This is really for all the marbles. Hand it off to the running back, and he's got it. All right, we've got 15,000. We've got to win 1 more game. And now the final drill, the Pocket Presence 1. 12,000 is the score to beat for the starting quarterback position, week number 3, for the Texas State Bobcats. And so we really got to make sure we don't get hit by the tennis ball, obviously, because that resets the multiplier. But I'm pretty hit or miss at this drill because it's very hard to get the correct angle that you need to ensure that you do hit the target accurately. But as long as we can just find that relatively quickly, we've got to score 2,000 with 36 seconds to go. Honestly, a pretty good start for us. We just got to make sure at this point, we just don't get hit. So Flakes, very accurate when he can just set his feet and fire. When we are on the move, he does tend to miss the target completely. So just make sure that doesn't happen and we should be good. Flakes maneuvering nicely. See, that time be a little wonky. We almost missed it. But again, we're coming down the home stretch here. I think we need to complete 2 more. Do we have enough time to do that? Flakes, gonna fire it here. He's got it. We've got 5 seconds to complete it. Flakes, over. That should be good. And Brian Flakes, the new starting quarterback for the Texas State Bobcats. And looking at the depth chart, we don't have much in the backfield. Our best running back is a 71 overall in Tyrone Browning. Receiver though, Bay Sparks. This guy is him. He's a senior though, which is unfortunate, but he does play the game the right way. He's got 95 speed and 93 acceleration, what you call sneaky athletic. And we got a pretty solid tight end as well in Ty Stamey. So honestly, not a bad group of weapons. And the first collegiate start for Brian Flakes is going to be against an FCS opponent. He should be able to cook this game. Here's our 1st and 10 play. Flakes over the middle of the field, just going to get completions and continue to stack that coach trust. I think we should be able to take some shots though today with Starks, because he is definitely our best receiver, and a beautiful catch there on the sideline. The mobility from Flakes to get out on the run, make that throw. Honestly, a pretty good first 2 completions here, obviously against a pretty bad school, but man, the mobility is just not there. In high school, they definitely make it seem like you have a lot more juice to you than you actually do in these collegiate games, which does make sense, but man, it's pretty bad. But going deep here, Brian Flakes has a receiver, and he caught it. I honestly thought Browning dropped the football there, but we've got 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Flakes on a little bootleg, has our tight end, and there's no way he didn't get in. I do not want to run this football. I want to get us our first passing touchdown, but it's being very difficult to do that, and Flakes sails the pass. Oh my goodness. We had to settle for 3 points, which is just so embarrassing after that beautiful play. But we got the football back again. Time to go down the field and do it over again, and another missed throw from Flakes. I'm not sure if that one's entirely his fault. I mean, it was a green kind of released, so I don't know if that was his fault. But here we go on the slot fade. Orange this time, he sails another throw. All of those accuracy upgrades, and Brian Flakes just cannot throw an accurate football. But this time, beautiful up the seam. Another deep completion. But at the 13-yard line, really trying to get ourselves our first touchdown. Again, not really much open. We're going to fire back across the middle of the field. What a catch. Risky throw from Flakes, but he's a playmaker. That's what they say about him. He's a playmaker. Across the middle of the field here. Our first collegiate touchdown. What a start. I know it's FCS Midwest, but this has definitely been the best game I played in, even really counting high school. But we're going to give a chance here to our star receiver, see if he can make a play on it, and he can, and he breaks the tackle, and it's 17-3. We might have ourselves a cheat code with Bo Sparks. This kid might be the truth. Do we try him again? I'm just going to take the less risky throw. Another beautiful dime to our tight end. Brian Flakes is looking like an absolute steal of a 2-star recruit, making Texas and all those other programs look stupid here. Again to our tight end, same route, same result, touchdown. But we still get an opportunity to score before half and put up even more points. Cross the middle of the field again, another beautiful throw. Flakes is really one completion away from 300 yards and 4 passing touchdowns in the first half, which is pretty ridiculous. Over the middle of the field again, Flakes missed him. But inside the red zone, little PA shot play here. Again to our tight end, one of my favorite targets, easy touchdown. Flakes, what a first half. But an historic day for Brian Flakes. 670 yards, 8 touchdowns, and we win 59-10. What a begin to his career. And as I thought, we did break the single game passing record for Texas State. But now we're going to play a real game on the road against Troy, who is in our conference, and they're actually 2-1 to begin this season. And we actually have some stadium pulse for the first time, because the game against Texas was so over, where it really was no need for the fans to be into it. But this third down completion for a first down. Flakes is just going to keep feeding and feeding this Sparks receiver. He's an absolute stud. Lewis on this little slot fade up the seam here could be a nice completion, but we sailed it. The accuracy just still isn't quite there with Flakes consistently, which is a little bit disappointing because of all the points we spent on it. But here we go deep down the field to Sparks. Come on, you know he's catching that. The kid is an absolute stud. A handoff up the middle. It's 7-0 Bobcats. We've got the football back, and we have a chance now to make it a 14-point game. Again down the field, and it's going to be dropped. Probably should save all the down the field shots for Sparks, and I think we're going to do it again here. Actually, let's just dump it down to the running back. It's incomplete. And because of how our defense has played, Troy has been unable to find the end zone, so we can put up a 14-0 lead in this first half across the middle of the field again to our receiver for a nice completion. Flakes is already over 150 pass yards in this game, has not thrown for a touchdown yet. Maybe that can happen here. We're going to find our tight end on this out route, and he's going to hold on to it. Break a tackle, he's down to the 1. But first and goal, we're going to look for Sparks. He's not open, and Flakes just run for it. Easy touchdown. But we might just be the best team in the conference since Flakes has taken over. 14-0. Again, a chance to go down the field and add some more points. Our tight end with a dirty route, and we're across midfield. First and 10, if Sparks has one-on-one coverage, I'm lobbing it up. He does not, so we're going to go underneath here to our tight end again. And now 3rd and 6 with the clock ticking. We're going to lob one up the seam here, and it's going to be overthrown. We've been honestly just shredding Troy, and having a star receiver in Sparks just makes things so much easier. But again, a beautiful dime from Flakes. It's another touchdown. But another really easy win for us, 35-14, and Flakes is now 2-0 as a starter. And after our first 2 games, we are getting ourselves our first NIL offer from Oscar's Pizza. But we've got enough to do a couple of upgrades on Flakes. I think accuracy is still one I really want to improve. So honestly, let's just put both upgrades on that, and now we have 87 accuracy. And looking at our schedule, I think I'm going to wait until week 10 to hop into our next game against North Texas, who is 5-0 on the season. And look at Brian Flakes with the Riz. Got McKenzie's classmate, asked him to pull up to a party. We're going to decline though. And now all the way to week 10, the Texas State Bobcats are coming together very nicely at 5-3 and 4-1 in the conference. But the scene is set again. Another rainy game in Texas. I didn't think it rained that much there. And I believe this game is for number 1 in the conference with just a few weeks left to go in the season. So it'd be a huge win for us as our tight end with a great catch. But we're also like 1 win away from clinching a bowl game, which would also be very good for our program in our first season. But again, our tight end just streaking wide open down the field. But maybe a conference championship game in our first year would be absolutely massive for us. Up the seam here to our receiver, another huge first down. A great drive for Brian Flakes. He's setting the tone on the offensive side of the ball. And coming with 7 points here could be really big in establishing the tone for this game. It's 7-0. North Texas your turn to respond. And they can't. Looks like our defense must have forced a turnover, so now we have a chance to go up 14-0. A little bit of a risky throw there, but it's still fine. Slant route, cross the middle of the field for another huge chunk play. Brian Flakes has just been dialed in since he became the starter. Cross the middle of the field, it's dropped. But now first and goal at the 1 to make it 14-0, and we're actually going to be stopped short. So we're going to try it again. Another run up the middle, and this time we got it 14-0. The Mean Green do respond with a touchdown, making it a 7-point ball game again. But as long as we keep scoring on offense, it doesn't matter. Good first completion to begin this drive. Again, going to get outside the pocket here. How do we run with Brian Flakes? He's just so slow, but we get the first down. The defensive ends in this game are no joke, but Sparks here is going to have one-on-one coverage. Our star receiver, come on, it's too easy. Sparks down the field. It's underthrown, but he holds on, and he's in the end zone. Brian Flakes and Sparks have put on a clinic every single game this season. Again, little comeback route, and what a horrible throw. We're just going to blame that one on the rain and just keep it chugging. 3rd and 10 here. I think we could have an up the seam shot. I didn't love it, so we're going to have to play make our receiver, fire up the field. A beautiful play again off script. And if we score on this drive, is that basically putting the game out of reach? I mean, 28-7 at home in a rainstorm could be huge, but Sparks again wide open. And now 1st and 10 officially inside the red zone. Just gonna fire it to our tight end. And why did he just not catch the ball? Luckily our defense made a stop. It didn't matter, but just kind of frustrating. Our tight end didn't even try to catch that ball. But again, down the sideline here, the receiver comes back for it. Beautiful play again. I don't know why. It feels like college is easier than what high school was. This isn't even an FCS opponent. It's North Texas, the top team in our conference. And outside of that one miscommunication pick, it's been pretty much an easy-going game for us at this point. But again, Sparks, best receiver in the country. North Texas has had their opportunities to come back in this game, but our defense has stifled them a few times now, I think, in the goal line area. But again, beautiful throw from Brian Flakes. And that should just about do it here. After that win, look who's sliding back in our DMs. It's McKenzie. You know what? We're still going to curve her, though. We're still going to curve her. We did get ourselves another NIL offer. Going to take it with Chef's Sporting Goods. But we're actually number 3 in the conference now. Appalachian State and Southern Miss, who beat us, are both ahead of us by 1 win. We don't play App State, so we probably need to win out and hope that they lose a game. Arkansas State and UL Monroe should be fairly easy games, but the Coastal Carolina could be sneaky tough on the road. But of course, we can't catch a break, and Arkansas State did take us down 27-24 in this game. Flakes did not have himself a good performance. 223 yards, 2 picks, and a 44% completion percentage. That pretty much means the end of our season. We're not going to be able to make the conference championship game now, which is disappointing, but I still want to hop into this game against Coastal Carolina and take them down on the road because we do want to have a good end of the season, because we are going to be looking for maybe other programs to play at as a sophomore. Our defense got a nice stop to open the game, but it's time for Flakes to bring the offense down the field. We're going to start off with a screen here, and we actually are going to pick up a first down. Going to try and get on the move here and maybe throw this comeback route, but it's not going to be open, and now we're just going to dump it off to our tight end. Risky throw, but 3 yards. We'll love an opportunity to throw a ball up to Sparks, one-on-one coverage. He's been dominant all season, and we're going to do it here. One-on-one coverage. Sparks has a step, and Sparks, it's incomplete. We're taking over this drive at the 3-yard line, so our defense has done a good job holding Coastal to no points, but we got to get something going. It's almost the end of the first quarter, and we have 1 first down so far in this game. So again, underneath to our tight end, but he's going to be short, and he dropped it. And Coastal did score a touchdown, which means we have our first real deficit of games that we've hopped into. We're going to run it here on 3rd and 2. We got the first down, but it's been tough offensively. Some drops, they've gotten good pressure on us, but here's Sparks, a beautiful throw, and we just got to start targeting our best receiver a little bit more. And if we do that, we should be fine. Our tight end now up the middle of the field. Another beautiful throw from Brian Flakes. This is the offense we're used to seeing. We have a little slip play here with Stamey again, if he can get out and get open, and he can't, but our other tight end can, but Flakes is going to get sacked. He's honestly just so slow. But we have Sparks on the slant route. Beautiful throw. Now we're back inside the 5. Coach probably doesn't let us go for this, so I would love to get it here, but again, nobody wants to block. We got a field goal, and Coastal scores a field goal as well to respond. But here we go, Sparks to end the first half, deep down the field. He's a cheat code. Flakes is 400 pounds and has a noodle arm. That was a walk-in touchdown with an accurate football. But here outside the numbers again, we're going to go no huddle, and we really need to pick this up. We have to go into halftime, at least tied. Tight end here, cross the middle of the field again, and we're inside the 5. Just ugly execution in the red zone. But again, Sparks, middle of the field, couldn't get it off. We got to settle for another field goal. This Coastal defense is just really bringing it, especially on their defensive line. Again, not really much open, gonna fire it down the field, and our receiver just stops coming back for the ball. Why? Frustrating play. But again, Sparks, we just need to throw it up to him. He's a cheat code. We can't even get the ball off. Our offensive line cannot hold up at all, but a slot fade here, wide open to our receiver. He's gonna hold on, and he's finally gonna bring it all the way, actually. It's just inside the 5. Would have loved to not have to execute in a goal-to-go situation again, but we're going to have to do it and just fire it to Sparks. Sparks, he's dropping it. We simply cannot catch a break inside the red zone. This is unbelievable. Again, Sparks finally holds on this time to tie game. Coastal goes back in front with a touchdown. We're going to try Sparks again. He's due for one of these catches. And oh my goodness, Sparks is the best receiver in the country. The man is an absolute cheat code, and it's still a tie game, and we have a chance to go down the field and score yet another touchdown. Bo Sparks is the truth, and if he was not a senior, he's probably playing at Bama next year. That is how good he's been this season. Again, Bo Sparks down the field running wide open. Another huge chunk play. 1st and 10. Bo Sparks again, right over the linebacker's head. It's incomplete, though. But now 3rd and forever. Our offensive line is really struggling to hold up. We're just going to dump it off to Bo here, see if he can cook for us, and he's going to pick up a few yards, probably not enough for a field goal even. Our defense did a great job holding, but it's still a tie game. Just over 2 minutes to go. We're already backed up at our 4-yard line, and we're just going to lob one up to the cheat code in Sparks. Sparks down the sideline. He caught it. Oh my goodness. He got the pass interference, and it doesn't even matter. He's just simply different. A beautiful, calculated little underthrow there from Flakes as well. But although the first half was really rough, Flakes is over 400 pass yards. This is a huge play here, though. On this 3rd down, you know who's getting wide open. It's Bo Sparks for a huge conversion. But we've got a really big 3rd and 7 here. Our tight end had a chance, but I didn't want to risk it. And Bo is going to be a little short. If I'm our coach, I'm letting us go for that. He's not. And that's still going to be the game. We got a field goal. Our defense got to stop. And Coastal is taken down on the road. Another huge win for our team. And with that game, the single season passing yards record for Texas State is broken, and we still only remain 1 game back from App State. I have no idea if we won and they lose, what that would mean for our chances in the conference championship game. But we did in the season with a 20-17 win against UL Monroe, a very close ball game against the worst team in the conference. App State did lose, but unfortunately, they're still going to find themselves in the conference championship game, which means we are going home. And we did get a bowl game against Ohio in the 68 Ventures Bowl. Never heard of it. But here we go in Mobile, Alabama, looking for a bowl win, which would be a great way to end our season. I also just realized this is a battle between the Bobcats, which is interesting. Can't be many schools with that mascot. But an early touchdown drive would be huge to start us off in this game. We're going to dump it underneath to Sparks. Really risky throw, but look at Sparks make something out of nothing. The kid is truly unbelievable. I can't wait to check his stats and see if he can be an NFL maybe drafted receiver. Again, Sparks on this little corner route. He's going to hold on. He's just insane. Probably the best receiver I've played with on this game so far. But 2nd and 18, a little bit behind the sticks here. Bo Sparks again. Why not just keep feeding him the ball? Now officially inside the red zone. Again, going to fire it to our tight end underneath. Great play from their defender. What a big play on 3rd and 10. We have our receiver, but again, there's pressure. We take a big sack. But Ohio scores a touchdown, so it's 7-3. It's now our job as an offense to go down the field again, retake this lead. Another beautiful throw on the run. And now it's time to take a shot down the field. The question is, can our offensive line hold up in pass protection? And it looks like they cannot. It's honestly getting a little bit annoying. In high school, even in college, you just have no time to scan the field. But here we're going to go deep to Sparks, the best receiver in the country, and that is why. He's unstoppable. Just put some respect on Bo Sparks. He's been incredible all season, but again, pressure comes and nobody gets open. But next year, wherever we play, that has to be something we improve on because the goal-to-go situations just have not been good enough. But again, Sparks 1-on-1 coverage, hit as we throw, and that might be a pick 6 unless our running back can catch him here. Oh my goodness. Disaster. Again, our defense got a huge stop, and we have a chance again to score some points before half. Again, up the seam, but why was that ball floated by Flakes? It's another pick. That's back-to-back interceptions. not a great showing here in this bowl game. Ohio did get another touchdown before half, which is a really devastating end to the second quarter. But again, Sparks here, another misfire. Well, after that missed throw, we got taken out. Not exactly sure why. I guess maybe we got benched, but we have still a chance in this fourth quarter to come back and win this game. They've counted us out before, but all it takes is 2 touchdowns here. We can go win this game, but our offensive line just can't block. I say the same thing every game, every drive, but we have no time back there to actually scan the field and get rid of the football. Cross them into the field here. It's just no words. That was just a god-awful throw from Brian Flakes. What else can you do about that? He completely sailed that one. And now the offensive line doesn't want to block again. I'm going to lose my mind. That is going to be the bowl game, 28-9. Really frustrating loss into the season. Actually should have gone a lot better than that, but not the way we wanted to end this first year. Season stats: as a freshman, we completed 52% of our passes, which is really bad, for 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns to 10 picks. Really had no help on the ground. Browning only had 346 yards, but receiving wise, Sparks had 1,500 yards and 9 touchdowns, averaged 20 yards per catch. Now the question is, what does the transfer portal look like? Honestly, I'm seeing some pretty decent offers already. We potentially could be a starter in the SEC for the Arkansas Razorbacks, or maybe even play for the Miami Hurricanes. We are also projected to be the starter at Texas Tech, which is really interesting as well. But we have a ton of options, and I do think we're more likely than not going to be leaving Texas State behind. But we will accomplish that in next episode. Let me know what school you want to see Brian Flakes play for. But thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching episode 2 of this series. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.